Hello garden friends, and welcome to my channel, DK's Garden Oasis. I am Debbie. I'm a master gardener and butterfly raising hobbyist. On this channel I hope to inspire people to garden and also to conserve. In today's video I'm going to show you how to overwinter your black swallowtails, and this is just my way of doing it, and it has been successful for me. Make sure you stay till the end where I share an interesting fact about the watermelon. This year's the numbers are way down. A few years ago I raised over 100 black swallowtails, and I've done a quarter of that this year. The same with the monarchs. I hope this is just a bad year and this isn't a sign of what's to come. So I'm going to do my part and make sure that I have a garden that will be hospitable to all the butterflies and insects that come to my garden. Generally, the pupal or chrysalis stage lasts about 10 to 20 days, except for the overwintering butterflies. Diapause is a suspended development of an insect during unfavorable conditions. Each species will do so at different stages of development, either the larva stage, pupal, chrysalis stage, or adult. The black swallowtail overwinters in its pupal stage. The chrysalis will be either brown or green and will blend into the environment depending on what color it is. Just before they pupate, the longer nights and cooler temperatures will trigger the caterpillar to become a chrysalis and later emerge in the spring. The pupa produces a form of internal antifreeze that protects them from freezing temps. Generally, the period of time that the pupa can stay in its chrysalis is anywhere from 2 weeks to 24 months. And in 2019, one of my black swallowtails went into its chrysalis in August and did not emerge at all during 2020, and finally became a beautiful female butterfly in May of 2021. So that was just about 20 months, 19-20 months before it emerged. So the overwintering chrysalis needs ventilation and also some humidity to prevent it from drying out. Nothing else needs to be done until spring. I bring them in mid-May, and then what I do is I mist them every day and then put them outside if the weather permits. I have had one emerge in the garage a couple of years ago, and that's because the weather was a little warmer that spring. Also, another tip to bring the chrysalis out of diapause is to bring them in when you start seeing the trees leaf out. I will show you what I do to prepare the chrysalis to overwinter, but you need an enclosure with a tight netting so no rodents can get at them. I hang it in my garage. Just as a note, most homes are too warm and dry to overwinter your chrysalis inside. Okay, I hope you can see this. There are 2 black swallowtails in here, and I am going to put it in a toilet roll. So what I do is I save some toilet rolls. I put a paper towel over it with a rubber band, and these 2 guys right here, this one and this one, looks like it's just about ready to go in its chrysalis. So I'm going to cut it off, put some food inside this paper towel, and then it will make its chrysalis, and I'll show you the progress. I have one already, and it's right in here. I don't know if you can see it. That made its chrysalis already, and I'll show you how to put it in, take it off, and then put it in a little pillow. I'm not sure if these guys are going to overwinter, but I'm going to assume they will since it's the end of July. They could still emerge. That's why I'm going to keep them. After they go in their chrysalis, I'll show you what I do with them. I'll pin them in this enclosure and then wait till late September before I put them in the garage. So right now I'm going to cut these off. And here's this little guy. I don't know if he'll get mad at me and stick his horns out. No, he's not doing it. He just wants to eat. So I will put him in this toilet roll. Keep him with that stick. I'm going to cut off some dill. So he might not be done eating, so I'm gonna cut off some. I'll check on him later tonight to see if he ate it all. I'll put some more in there. If he starts making his chrysalis, then I'll stop feeding him. So I'm gonna just put some food in this little toilet roll. And then I'm gonna just tip them over. I just put them in this one right here. I'm just gonna leave them in there until later tonight, and I will see if he's ready to make his chrysalis, but I'll show you the progress. Now I'm gonna do the same to the other guy. Turn this guy around. They're pretty big, so I'm gonna assume that they are gonna go in that chrysalis pretty soon. Sometimes you can wait until they purge and you'll see a green liquid, and for sure that's when they're going to go in the chrysalis, but they'll probably do it in this toilet roll, which is fine. So I'm going to put him, let's see if this one will get mad at me, stick out its horn. This year they're not doing it. Nope. Okay. And I'm just going to put him in the toilet roll on the stem that he has currently, and then I'm going to stick in some more dill so he has something to eat. And then I'm just going to turn that over. Oops, stick all that in there. And I make sure they're in an enclosure just in case they escape. So I will check on them later tonight and I'll show you the progress. Okay, we have two that are going to be going in their chrysalis. This one is in his J and has a sling. I don't know if you could see this, but he has some silk at the bottom, and I'm sure he has a sling around him, and I'll show you that later. But he is going to go in his chrysalis soon. The other guy just purged, and you can see the liquid below the tube here, and he's probably making his sling as well. And I'll show you that a little bit later when he goes in his chrysalis. I'm going to go outside. I have one more to put in one of these tubes, and then I'll show you the progress tomorrow. Now I'm going to show you how I overwinter my black swallowtails and the supplies that you need. So I have some scissors, some paper towels, toilet roll, and a stapler, and some safety pins, and that's about it. So right now I have 5 that may overwinter. Like I said, I'm not sure. They could still emerge, so I'm going to put them in an enclosure and put them outside when the weather is nice. And then by, I would say, end of September, beginning of October, that's when I put them in my garage. So right now I have 5, and I'll show you 4 of them right now. I have one in my veggie pod, and I'll link that video above. So I have a video on what to plant for the black swallowtail, and then I have raising black swallowtails, and I'll also share that video with you above. And now I'm going to be talking about overwintering the black swallowtails. And so what I do, this is kind of an example of one that I finished, and these are for the ones, this chrysalis attached itself to the dill, and of course this is all dead right now, so I wanted to show you how I put him in one of these. And again, they have different methods of overwintering. This just happens to work for me. So what I do, and this is just a book that I keep track of all of what I bring in and when it emerges, and if it was a male or female. So I have this book here. And so what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to write the date, and it looks like the date on this still, it went into a chrysalis on August 10th. So what I'm going to do then is I am going to take this guy, August 10th, that today is, oh, I'm sorry. So this one actually went into its chrysalis on July 31st. So today is approximately 10 days. So it doesn't mean that this chrysalis will be going overwintering, but it could. So I'm just going to prepare it. So I took the piece of the black swallowtail and I'm just going to slip him in this little, what I call like a little pillow. And I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but he has a little silk thread that's keeping him on here, and then also he spun a silk pad on the bottom that attaches to the bottom. So he's hanging on by this little silk harness and the silk on the back end. So I'm going to slip him in here. And he's in his little home. And he's all set. And I'll show you what I do with the enclosure. So this one is all set. And there's a little picture of him there. Okay, so that's it for him. And then how I made these. So what I do is I take a toilet roll. And then I just cut it down the center. And open it up. And then I take a piece of paper towel, fold it a few times. Put it on the toilet roll. Take my stapler. Okay, and then this will make actually two. This is pretty big, so I'm going to just cut it in half. And now I have enough. I have to just staple the sides of this one. I've never had a problem with them overwintering with this method. Every one of mine that I've overwintered has emerged the next spring, so this works for me. So I have all my pillows set. These are for the ones that attach to the maybe the enclosure that you don't want them to. Maybe you've got a different enclosure that you want to put him in. Like I have an enclosure that I put all of my overwintering, so I take all of them and make this little pillow for them. Now for the other ones, as I showed you before, I take the toilet roll, wait till they go into their chrysalis, and you can see there's a chrysalis in there. And before they go into their chrysalis, I might have not said, they do purge, and so that's when you really know they're about to go into their chrysalis. I usually take them when they're pretty big, and then I put them in the toilet roll with some food for usually it's only a day or two, and then I see them go on the side, and you can see there's a little bit left of what he or she purged. So all I'm going to do for this one, I'm not going to need to do the little paper towel for this one because he's attached to this. So I will cut this one off. And I'll put the date. So this one was brought in around 8/2. So that one's set to go. Here's my next one. And there's that one. So I'm going to open this guy up. Okay, and this one looks like it went into its chrysalis maybe on 8/3. So these all should emerge next spring around, usually around the mid to late May. So I bring them in around Mother's Day. Or if it is a little bit warmer, like I said, one year they did emerge a little bit earlier, so then I just brought them in. And then every day I spritz them, mist them, and then put them outside if the weather is good. Otherwise I just keep them in the house, and they generally emerge usually after about 2 weeks inside. So this is my last one. And the one that's in the veggie pot, I'm going to give it a couple more weeks, and then I'm going to put them in the enclosure as well. I'm going to make sure that that one doesn't want to emerge. So this one, you can see this one's a little different color. I've got all green ones here. This one decided to match the environment and be brown. So this little guy was around 8/6. And so they are all set to be put in the enclosure. So what I do next, I'm going to put this all away, is I take my enclosure, and this is perfect for the garage. So I did a little handle here so we can hang it from the ceiling of the garage and nothing's ever tried to get in here. So all I do is I take, move this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. I just take a safety pin and I try to pin it. This is the direction that you want to pin it so that it's up, but it will, as long as it can climb up, it's okay. So what I do is put this through without sticking my finger, and I put him into the enclosure. And that's it. And I'll do the rest of them. And again, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to still take these outside and hang these outside. I have a little hook outside. And so I will bring these outside just in case they decide to come out of diapause. And if they don't by the end of September, then I will hang this in the garage. So that is my steps for overwintering the black swallowtail. I hope this video helped for those that were interested in how to overwinter your black swallowtail. So make sure you give it a like and share with those butterfly enthusiasts. In my next video, I'm going to continue the series attracting and raising monarchs. And in this video, I will be talking about the pre-chrysalis and chrysalis stage. So make sure you hit that subscribe and notification bell for that video. Now I'd like to share an interesting fact about the watermelon. Thanks for watching and happy gardening. Bye-bye.